So welcome, Yara. Thank you so much for joining me. I am very excited to count you as one of our speakers for the Self-Care Summit. You will be doing some speaker talks for us, and you are representing a very important contingent and demographic as part of the summit. Tell me a little bit more about your practice and background.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be a part of this. I am the Mindful Mommy. I'm a certified mindset and self-care coach for moms. I'm also a certified master mindfulness practitioner. I live in Quebec, Canada, in the province of Quebec. And my main goal really is to really push the importance of mothers putting themselves first, and how to not live with the guilt of doing that. So this whole pandemic really brought on a new sort of different layer, a different definition for what self-care is, and that's really what I'm here to promote.
That's very exciting. I really appreciate you going into that. Now, I'm sorry, what has been your biggest personal struggle when it comes to self-care?
For me, what I've worked on with my own personal coaches is discipline, actually practicing self-care on a regular basis, having the same time, same day, and really focusing on one thing at a time to release that sort of overwhelm of, oh my God, I have to get better right now. I have to do all the things to get better right now. So it was really trying to have a more disciplined practice, whether it was meditation or inner work or breathing techniques or whatever it was. My struggle was actually doing it consistently to get the results, rather than, okay, I breathed for 5 minutes, where are my results?
I completely understand. I am the same way, and it is very much a self-sabotaging pattern where, you know, I try to take on too much, and then I'm not able to actually deliver or follow through. So those are some very wise words. Given the women that you work with in your coaching practice, what is the biggest problem with self-care that you see, the biggest obstacle to them actually caring for themselves that you see in your work?
I actually find it very uniform. Everyone comes in with the same sort of typical issues of, I don't have enough time to take care of myself, or I have too many things going on to put myself first. I feel guilty putting myself first, or I feel guilty even taking care of myself. These sort of things are very layer and very surface issues. But when we dig a little bit deeper and really find out what is the issue, it's very cyclical, right? It's very, this sort of like their thoughts really shape their emotions, and they don't understand the root of it. So when we get into the thought belief of, why do you think that you are a quote unquote bad mother for taking time for yourself? Right? So that's really the issue that we work with, and everyone's answers are different. Everyone's thoughts, everyone's beliefs are shaped differently because of their circumstances. So we really try to get to a place where they can fully accept what they're working with. We try to release those limiting beliefs and replace them with new ones. Try to pick up two boxes at the same time, so to speak, right? So which box are you going to pick up today? I choose this box, and it has all of the lovely things that they can open themselves up to believing, right? So it's all inner work. When somebody says, I don't have the time, I say, okay, how many hours are you spending on Netflix? When you wake up, do you touch your phone? Do you, there is time. It's just very difficult for us because we're in a routine. So you have to throw a wrench in it and recreate your routine from scratch.
I think that is a very important and very crucial question. Again, I am not a mom, but I do luckily have some nephews. So in the women I've been near and dear to, that is a very frequent struggle, and I really love how succinctly you tend to work with that. Now, with the summit coming up, what is the biggest benefit of self-care you've seen, either your success story or one of your clients?
The biggest success for me, having really practiced it and given myself, the proper nurturing that I needed and set myself up for success, was relieving my healing from anxiety and depression. I'm very careful when I say something like that because I understand mental illness plays a huge role in our society. But for me, where my anxiety and depression was stemming was purely belief based, right? I had my first panic attack in university. And the first thought that went through my head was, don't tell anybody, this is wrong. There's something wrong in your body, in your brain, in your system. You're not functioning right. This was before kids, before anything. But what happened with that first thought, it led on other thoughts. The next time I felt overwhelmed, I I was almost hesitant, like, oh no, don't have a panic attack. That's wrong. And then that would make me more overwhelmed, and I would eventually put myself in a panic mode and give myself a panic attack. So it sort of became this cycle of one negative thought leading another, hiding, not wanting to tell anybody, feeling so ashamed, bringing on all these negative, quote unquote, negative feelings. Rather than sitting with them, I would shove them down deeper and deeper until one day it all had to come out. And unfortunately, the way that it came out was through psychosis. I was pregnant with my second child, and I had a complete breakdown. It was it was the most heartbreaking thing for me to witness that while it was happening to me at the same time, because it brought me back to that first moment where I said there's something wrong with you, and now I'm at a place where I don't know how to pick up the pieces. So at that moment, even though I felt like I was at the lowest of lows, that was my motivation to be like, okay, now is the time to really start putting yourself first, because I can't take care of anybody in this state. I had to take care of my toddler, and I'm pregnant, and I'm not helping anybody in the situation that I'm in. So for me, my biggest thing, I've been anxiety free, depression free for 2 years now. Anxiety a lot longer, but depression came with my second child, whether it was pregnancy related. I'm not really sure where the root of that was, but it was a lot of it was in my head, me talking to myself and bringing myself down. So my what I try to do with my clients is bring out all of those negative thoughts, and it's very uncomfortable for them. It makes them very like, oh, I don't want to say that about myself out loud, but you're saying it to yourself inside of your head. So when you say it out loud, you say, oh my gosh, I'm so mean. I had one client literally look at me and go, oh my, I'm so rude. And I said, exactly. So when you say it out loud, the next time you want to say it in your head, something will click. Something will just say, no, that's rude, don't say that. And it's practice, it's discipline, it's hard work. A lot of people think self-care is, I'm going to take an hour and sit in the bathtub. But when you take an hour and sit in the bathtub and cry for the whole hour, that is not taking care of yourself. So I think my biggest success with my clients is really showing them the tools, and how I did this for myself, and how there are so many different tools that you can use, not necessarily the ones that I chose. I really relate to meditation, but not yoga. There are some clients who really take yoga as a serious practice, and they're not really into meditation. So it's really what works for each person. But it's so layered. Like, you have to work on your beliefs, on managing your emotions, on your self-talk, to really heal from the inside out. And that's how you can serve best.
Well, thank you so much for sharing, Yara. That is a deeply personal story, and I'm really honored that you felt safe enough to share that with us as part of the group. One of the things I'm really loving with getting to do these interviews so far, it's been pretty much all business. We're talking about the summit and what we're doing and what we're doing together as a group. It's really lovely to have a moment to just hear why it's a point of passion for you guys. So on that, do you have any specific promotion to your clients coming that have found you through the Self-Care Summit, or anything specific that you are launching? I want to say you have a course coming up, don't you?
I do. So the course that I'm launching will revolve around the pillars of self-care. I'll be teaching self-love, self-trust, and self-acceptance. And all those things are related to the motherhood journey. For anybody who is in the summit, they will get a special price at 222 instead of the 333 for the 3 weeks that I will be teaching this course live.
And just to clarify, that would be Canadian or US?
That's US.
Okay, just making sure
Yeah.
that everything's on the same page. Well, I am very excited about that. I can't wait to hear more about that course and how that's running for you. I so appreciate you taking the time with me today. I look forward to having some more time with you on the summit.
Thank you. Me too.